Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm excited to hop on this morning. I'm going to share something that affects 93% of us. And most people that have this, they don't even know that they have it. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are struggling with your health, what I'm about to share with you can be an absolute game changer. Okay, insulin resistance, folks, is something that most of us have. And as you look at this little picture, okay, that I have listed up here, it's going to show you just some of the common symptoms that people have that are all related or caused by insulin resistance. Okay. So I hope and I pray that as I share this information, that it helps you to avoid making the same mistakes that I've made. And folks, if you're somebody who's struggling with your health, this information could change your life. And if there's somebody that you love and that you care about that needs to hear this information, feel free to share this live with them so that they can hop on, they can listen, they can ask questions. But I've got a lot that I want to cover. Folks, if you don't know what insulin resistance is, I encourage you to Google it or research it, because this is going to be a hot health topic for years to come. Okay? It is something that affects a lot of people. And so I'm really glad that you're here this morning. Okay. Now, as people are tuning in, please let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I'm always curious where people are located around the world. Okay. So as you hop into this live, just drop your location if you feel comfortable. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. I've lived here my whole life. And I'm really excited to get on for a couple reasons, because insulin resistance, folks, it is something that some of us have, most of us, we don't even know it. And so as people are coming on, let me ask you a quick question. If you struggle with low energy, with stubborn weight, right, that excess belly fat that we have, if you struggle with cravings or blood sugar issues, type one word into the chat or the comments. Okay. Type energy, weight, cravings, or diabetes. If you wouldn't mind just taking a few seconds and doing that. What is your struggle? Just one word. And put that in the chat. Borscht King, Edward, thank you guys for hopping on. Adventures with C. All right. Ronald, thank you. John Davis. Dr. Nick. But if you struggle with low energy, with stubborn weight, blood sugar issues, or cravings, type one word in the chat right now. Okay, type energy, type weight, cravings, or diabetes. I always like seeing what people are dealing with when they jump on these lives, okay? Because it really helps to be able to guide the conversation, okay? The reason why I asked that question is because most people don't realize that many of those problems come from one root cause, okay? Okay, so I always like seeing what people deal with, because we're all dealing with something, okay? And far too often we are treating these symptoms with meds and not really trying to understand what's causing, right? Many of these problems come from one root issue. And it is something that's affecting millions of people today, and that issue is insulin resistance. Now, when insulin stays elevated in the body, okay, when insulin stays elevated in the body, your body becomes stuck in fat storage mode. And that means that your body struggles to burn your stored energy, okay? Sorry, there's a truck driving past and carrying a lot of stuff, but oops, let me put this back up here. And Kwesi Brill, thank you for the comment. Good morning. Okay. When insulin levels stay elevated in the body for most of the day, your body becomes stuck in fat storage mode. I want you guys to remember something. When insulin is high, your body is storing energy. When insulin is low, your body is burning stored energy. Okay. So if insulin is high, that means that your body struggles to burn your stored FAT, right? I think this will make it easy to understand what I'm trying to say, okay? Our body has two fuel sources, okay? We're either burning food for fuel or we're burning our stored FAT for fuel, okay? Remember this, when insulin's high, your body's going to be storing energy. When it's low, this is when your body is starting to get rid of that stored energy, okay? And so when that happens, people often feel tired during the day, right? They're craving sugar, they're craving carbs, and people struggle to lose weight even when they're doing everything that they possibly can to lose that weight, okay? They're trying really, really hard, but they're failing. And most people think that, their issue is simply calories. But for many people, the real issue is how your body is handling insulin and blood sugar. So this morning, I'm going to show you the simple metabolic protocol that completely changed my health. And Ranch Lady, thank you so much for the follow. Okay. And if you're curious about what it is that I'm using every day, okay, I have it listed right here in the shop. Okay. I'm starting to understand, but can you break this down for me? Absolutely. Adamus, right. I want people to understand, number one, what insulin resistance is, and number two, what we can do to fix it. And punks never, okay, your handle. Insulin resistance is caused by visceral fat. So visceral fat is actually caused by insulin resistance, okay? Here's what causes insulin resistance to happen, okay? Every single time we eat food, okay? Especially when it comes to sugar or carbs. When we have that meal that has sugar and carbs, it spikes your blood sugar. When your blood sugar goes up, your body sees this, and so it releases insulin. Insulin is the fat storing hormone, okay? So when blood sugar goes up, your insulin goes up because its job is to move glucose out of your bloodstream and into your cells, right? Our cells need energy. Your brain needs energy, our gut, right? And so as we eat food, it's converted into a simple sugar called glucose that enters our bloodstream, okay? Pancreas is releasing insulin to go and grab that glucose and deliver it to our cells. What happens is when your cells become resistant to insulin. How many of you were told to eat 3 meals a day and to snack 2 to 3 times throughout the day? Right? I was an athlete growing up. I was told to have a bunch of smaller meals because it keeps your metabolism high, right? Well, every single time we eat food, it causes a spike in our blood sugar. And when it causes a spike in our blood sugar, insulin is released to again bring that back down. But when we are eating all day long, your insulin remains elevated, okay? And when your insulin is remained elevated throughout the day, this is what starts driving the excess weight and the fatigue and the cravings and diabetes. And once you become diabetic, then your risk for cardiovascular disease and heart attack and stroke and dementia all start to increase. What I want you guys to understand is, number one, what's causing it. Number two, what can we do to fix it? Okay. And what I'm going to share with you is a simple metabolic protocol that has completely changed my health. And before I explain, I want to tell you why talking about insulin resistance became so personal to me. Let me show you this. My dad passed away early. My dad passed away on Easter Sunday, 2017. My brother passed away at 33. And at one point, I personally was dealing with stage 4 kidney disease. No one in my family had diabetes, but metabolic problems were everywhere. Folks, I can throw a pebble down the street, and I'm going to come in contact with at least 10 people that are struggling with their health. And watching all of this take place, my dad passed away early, my brother passed away at a young age. Watching that happen forced me to start asking a serious question. Why are so many people getting sick even when they're trying to eat better? Maybe you're trying really, really hard and you still feel like you're taking 2 steps back. And what I eventually discovered was many people are dealing with insulin resistance and they don't even realize it. Here's the thing, folks, and this is the sad part about insulin resistance. Insulin resistance can develop years and even decades before someone is ever diagnosed with diabetes. Silk curves. I started using a simple system. It is called the Feel Great system, which is why I have it listed here in the shop. Within 5 months of being on this, when I went back to my nephrologist said, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. And part of what I do is this. This is exactly what I do every single day. I wake up and I sip on this first thing in the morning. Okay, that's what I'm sipping on here. This is a yerba mate extract. Okay, it's got natural phytonutrients, right? Theobromine, chlorogenic acid, right? Natural caffeine. Okay, and when I sip on this, it shuts the food noise off. And so in place of breakfast, I sip on this tea. I don't eat breakfast. Okay, I sip on this. And I sip on it whenever I'm not eating. And it allows me to go longer periods of time without thinking about food. Folks, what I eventually realized, especially as I talk to more people every day, is that most people are dealing with something that has to do with insulin resistance. And ladies and gentlemen, far too often, all we are doing is throwing medications at these symptoms without understanding what the root cause is. Silk curves, thank you for the follow. And here's the truth, right? There's a lot of people on a lot of meds, but are they managing your symptoms or are they helping you to fix it? I would imagine that most of you, if not all of you, would say you feel like it's managing it, right? Folks, insulin resistance can develop years or decades. In fact, it can take 10 to 20 years before it even leads to a diabetes diagnosis. When you go to a doctor, right, and they're checking your glucose levels, your blood sugar may still look normal, folks, but their insulin levels are elevated behind the scenes. When insulin stays elevated all day long, your body becomes really, really, really good at storing fat. Okay. And your body becomes very inefficient at getting rid of it. Tam, thank you for the follow. Okay. That's exactly why I teach the Feel Great system. When you're doing this, when insulin is high and your body's storing energy and not getting rid of it, that's when people start experiencing fatigue, right? People are craving sugar and salt, especially at night. People start to realize that weight gain seems, impossible to reverse. And Sarah Page, thank you for the follow. And for those of you that are clicking on the shop and clicking on, the Feel Great system, okay, and feel free if you want, message me at any given time. I'm happy to send it to you. But folks, once I started learning how insulin works in my body and how I was able to stabilize blood sugar naturally, everything began to change. My energy improved. My metabolism improved. I had migraine headaches, ladies and gentlemen, for 23 years. It went away in the first week. Acid reflux, brain fog, anxiety, depression, sleep apnea. These are things that most of us experience, and we just chalk it up that we're getting older. And what really is going on is there's a fire burning out of control in our body. And we're either just throwing water on the smoke with our meds, or we're actually trying to understand what's causing it so that we can fix the root cause. And that's why I have become so passionate about teaching this, because again, you could have insulin resistance and never even know it because nobody's talking about it. Folks, if you have a doctor that is talking to you about insulin resistance, hold on to that doctor. Because the sad reality is that most medical professionals, they're not talking about it, let alone addressing it, even though it happens to be the root cause of our issues. Now, let me ask everyone watching something else. How many of you feel like you get really tired in the afternoon, especially after lunch? If that happens to you, please type tired in the chat. If you feel like you get tired in the afternoon, please type tired in the chat, okay? Sarah Page, thank you for that. I appreciate you. And by the way, as you guys tune in, please let me know where you guys are tuning in from, okay? I'm here in, I'll put this in the chat, why not? I'm in Mesa, Arizona. Okay. New Orleans, Silk Curves, I love it. London, England. Oh, I love it. I love my customers in London. I've got a lot of friends and fans in England. Okay. So folks, one of the biggest signs of insulin resistance is something I call the blood sugar roller coaster. Okay. And most of us are riding that roller coaster every single day. Let's say that someone eats something that's high in refined carbs or sugars. Okay. What's going to happen is your blood sugar spikes quickly. Insulin spikes to bring this blood sugar back down. That's its job, right? But sometimes the insulin overshoots and blood sugar drops too low. And when that happens, guess what? Your body starts craving quick energy again, usually carbs or sugar. Okay. And then the cycle repeats itself, folks. Blood sugar spike, insulin spike, insulin spike, insulin spike, energy crash, cravings. Many people literally go through this cycle every single day without even realizing it. Let me ask you guys a question. And guys, if you're getting value, please tap the screen and share this with people. There's a lot of people that are needing to hear this. And most people have no idea that this even exists. And when you tap the screen and when you share this, you're actually sharing this with people that need this information. Showstopper, thank you for the follow. Folks, I want you guys to understand, and Melody, good morning. Folks, I didn't know what insulin resistance was. I'm so grateful that I know about it now. Folks, I talk to people literally every day. It amazes me. And I'm talking to new people every day. And it amazes me how many people not only are affected by this, but they're dealing with it every single day. And most people just think it's part of getting older. And that's not the case. Melody, good morning. Okay. Most people are in this roller coaster every single day without even realizing it. Now, here's something interesting that most people never hear. Okay. There are actually 3 hormones that control fat storage in the body. The first one, these hormones are insulin, glucagon, and cortisol. Okay. Insulin, ladies and gentlemen, is what stores energy. Glucagon is what releases that stored energy. And then cortisol is what helps to regulate the stress and blood sugar balance. And what happens is when insulin is elevated all day long, your body literally has a hard time accessing the stored fat. When insulin is high, folks, we're gaining weight. Our, love handles are getting, I actually call insulin the love handle hormone because that's what it's doing. When insulin is high, your body is in storage mode. When insulin comes low during fasting periods, right? If you're going longer periods of time, it's called time restricted eating, okay, TRE. Intermittent fasting, right? We're going longer periods of time without putting food into our mouth. When that happens, insulin has a chance to come down. And glucagon signals the body to start releasing stored energy in the form of FAT. This is one of the reasons why intermittent fasting can be such a powerful tool for people. Now, let me ask you guys another question, okay? How many of you deal with cravings at night? If that happens to you, type cravings in the chat. And while you're doing that, I want to recommend a few books, okay? I want to recommend Fast Like a Girl, okay? Dr. Mindy Pels, okay? Super knowledgeable. She talks about how, the power of fasting can boost your energy levels. It can help reduce fat. It can help to balance your hormones. Here's another doctor, Dr. Benjamin Bickman. He's the leading doctor and scientist in the world when it comes to insulin resistance. Okay, he calls it the silent epidemic. Okay, he's a professor at BYU. Then you've got Dr. Robert Lustig. He is a nutrition genius. He went to MIT. He's got a medical degree from Cornell. He wrote Metabolic Okay, and he talks about the truth about processed food and how it poisons people and the planet. You want to know something interesting? Okay. You want to know, he said, and let me ask you guys this question. Do you guys know what the #1 fast food restaurant is in the world? And essentially, Michelle, I totally get that. Okay. Why am I being restricted? I seriously don't understand why I'm getting restricted. But essentially, Michelle, I used to have that experience, right? Fasting used to backfire for me too, because I used to binge eat, right? It's like you feel like you're starving. And Maria, thank you for the follow. Okay. When I sip on this, it literally shuts the food noise off. In fact, my energy levels goes up, the brain fog goes away. Okay. And it's very simple. Very simple. Okay. And thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. But this helps me to go longer periods of time, and it literally just shuts the food noise off. So even when I am hungry, folks, I'm not binge eating. Okay. Most people think that cravings are a willpower issue. But most of the time, okay, cravings are actually a metabolic signal. Okay. And essentially, Michelle, here's why I teach the Feel Great system. Folks, back in November of 2014, I donated a kidney to my sister's husband. Okay. And I'm very honored to have been able to do that. Okay. My sister and her husband, they have 6 kids, and, he got his life back. And I'm grateful for that. I would have done that for anybody. Okay. But it was 7 years later when I was diagnosed with stage 4 kidney disease. And my nephrologist said, Troy, if you don't lose weight, if you don't change your diet, you're going to end up on dialysis. So, folks, what do doctors traditionally do? They prescribe meds. And guess what I was prescribed? I was given this, which is what some of you are probably on. Okay. And I got on this, and I'll be honest, it didn't do anything for me. In fact, it made me sick. So I stopped taking it after 2.5 months. And it was 2.5 years later when I personally learned about the Feel Great system, which I have listed here in the shop. My friend who shared this with me, she used to be a rocket scientist. Her husband and I had been financial advisors for the same company. I live in Phoenix. They live in Tucson, or they used to. They live in Alabama now. And essentially, Michelle, this is a natural form of me forming. Seriously. And so my friend reached out to me. She just shared this with me. She said, Troy, it comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. You should give it a try. Folks, I didn't think it was going to work. But everything that I had done up to this point wasn't working. So I was open and willing to try something different. What I love about the Feel Great system is it's safe. It is simple. It's very easy for someone to do. It's not complicated. You can try it for 90 days. And if you don't notice improvement in your health, you literally just get your money back. You can't ask for something better. If something doesn't work, you just get your money back. Folks, when your blood sugar has been unstable all day long, your brain begins demanding quick energy. And that's when people crave things like sugar and bread and pasta and pizza and snacks, especially late at night. And when your blood sugar becomes more stable, those cravings often decrease dramatically. And one thing that helped me tremendously, folks, was learning about fiber. Fiber plays a huge role in stabilizing blood sugar. And when fiber is present, right, when we have fiber, okay, and I'm not talking about the psyllium husk that you get in Metamucil or Benefiber. Okay, that's one type of fiber. Our body needs diversified types of soluble. It needs soluble and insoluble fibers. But when fiber is present, it helps to slow down how quickly the glucose enters the bloodstream. And that means that your blood sugar rises more gradually. It's moving up slowly. And when that happens, insulin doesn't spike as dramatically. The other thing that you're going to notice is that your energy is more stable. Your blood sugar is stable. Unfortunately, many people today are extremely low in fiber because the food industry has taken the fiber out of our food. How many of you remember this drugstore? If you remember Rexall, would you guys mind typing Rexall in the chat? Good morning, Miji. If you remember Rexall, it used to be the biggest drugstore. They started in 1903, biggest drugstore in the world. Okay. And they created this blend of fiber. Okay. The reason why I'm saying this, folks, is because back in the late 1980s, early 90s, Rexall Drugs, the doctors and scientists of Rexall, created a blend of plant-based fibers. Okay. And they said that this fiber was going to change the world. And so they put 4 different patents on it. Okay. They put 4 patents on it so that nobody could copy it. Okay. And the fiber that we have today is unlike any fiber. Okay. It's like having a salad before your meal. This is exactly how I use the Feel Great system every single day. And folks, if you want what I use that helped me to reverse stage 4 kidney disease, I lost weight, migraines. I had migraines for 23 years. Here's how I use this system. When I wake up first thing in the morning is I mix this with water and I sip on it all morning. Okay, I'm sipping on it right here. Okay, I sip on this. That's my breakfast. I don't eat breakfast, folks. And I sip on it all morning. And then when it's lunchtime, if I'm hungry, I'm going to have lunch. And then I'm going to have my second tea. I'm going to be sipping this in the afternoon. Okay. And what it does is it helps to reduce or eliminate your cravings for snacks in the afternoon. It just shuts it off. It helps to lower the glucose and the insulin spike. And then before your biggest meal of the day, which for me is usually dinner, I'm going to have this. Now, mind you, if I have 1 to 2 meals, I'm going to have this before every meal. And that's the Feel Great system. That's exactly how I use it. Morning, lunch, before biggest meal. okay, whether that's lunch or dinner. That's it. And you mix it with water, and that's it. It is not complicated. It has been studied by more than 50 institutions. Most people don't even know about it because far too often, folks, we are we're throwing medications at our symptoms without trying to fix the root cause. And when you incorporate fiber, and the other tool that has helped me tremendously, which is intermittent fasting works because it gives insulin a break. And Elevate Your Health, thank you for that. Headaches, fatigue, low testosterone, allergies gone, down 75 pounds, feeling amazing, more energy. I love that. Folks, when somebody eats from morning until night, your insulin is going to stay high. And when insulin is high, your body is storing FAT. But when somebody starts creating a fasting window, you're going longer periods of time without food. You're allowing your insulin to come down. That's when your body starts getting rid of your stored FAT. Now insulin comes down, inflammation comes down. Folks, when you get your insulin under control, you're going to start noticing changes immediately. Melody says, I will not do without it. I feel like I have my life back, energy out of the roof. Melody, I love that. Okay. Elevate Your Health says, this has been the best decision for my health. I no longer pay for sick care. Consistency is key. Folks, I've been using this for 2 years, over 2 years. I will never stop using the Feel Great system. And folks, if you want what I use, it's in the TikTok shop. Okay, or message me. I'm happy to send you the details, right? Folks, here is something that has completely changed my health. And the goal is not just weight loss. The goal is becoming insulin sensitive again. The goal is metabolic flexibility, okay? A metabolically flexible body can switch between burning glucose and burning fat for energy. And many people today, unfortunately, have lost that ability because your body is always relying on constant sugar and carbs. And what happens when your blood sugar comes down too low? You feel terrible, right? Your brain starts demanding stuff. Your body's not efficient at burning fat. And so we eat all the time, which is why we're developing these chronic issues. And all we're doing is treating it with meds, folks, but we're not ever fixing the root cause. It's like having a leak in your ceiling and putting a bucket to catch the water, but you're never fixing the roof. We've got to address the environment inside our body, not just the symptoms. And when you become insulin sensitive again, amazing things start to change. And the only thing that I've changed is using this system. What helped me the most was following this simple metabolic protocol that is designed to support these mechanisms. Okay. The protocol focuses on 3 main things. First, it's going to help you to stabilize your blood sugar. Okay. The second is it'll support, when I'm sipping on this, it supports your body's natural ability to go longer periods of time without fasting. Okay. When you fast, insulin levels have a chance to come down. And third, we are helping the body restore metabolic flexibility so that it can start burning the stored fat again. Your body cannot store and burn fat at the same time. And for most of us, we're storing it because we're eating all the time. How many of us have been told to, eat the 3 meals a day and a snack 2 to 3 times throughout the day? If that's you, that's most of us, right? That advice was given to us back in the 90s, right? Well, how is that working out for us, right? We literally eat up from sun up to sundown. It's called the standard American diet. We eat breakfast and then a snack and then lunch and then a snack and then another snack before you go home. And then you've got dinner and then dessert and then snacks. I mean, folks, we're literally grazing all day long. It's like we're toddlers again. And essentially, Michelle, this is why I love this, because it literally switches that light switch, it turns off. You will notice I'm a foodie. I love food, folks. I eat 1 to 2 meals a day. And this will help you. Essentially, Michelle, if you're open to trying this, I'm telling you, it's an absolute game changer. Folks, I am talking about the Feel Great system. It's exactly why I use it. It's exactly why I talk to people about it. Now, a lot of people assume that something like this must be expensive. But when you break it down, it comes to about $5.20 a day, which is interesting when you think about it. Because a lot of people will be like, well, that's too expensive. Well, most people spend more than $5 a day on coffee, on fast food, on energy drinks, on snacks. And unfortunately, those things that we're doing often make your insulin resistance worse. Okay. Now, when you compare that to, diabetes, right? The meds that we're on, maybe even these weight loss ones, some people are literally spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on those things. And so it really puts that into perspective. Folks, what is your biggest struggle? If you wouldn't mind, okay, what is your biggest struggle right now? Type one word in the chat. Is it energy? Is it your weight? Is it cravings? Is it diabetes? Is it sleep? I always like seeing what people are dealing with. How many of us were told breakfast was the most important meal of the day, right? You start your day with a bowl of cereal and orange juice, right? And essentially, Michelle, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Feel Great system, but I would encourage you to try it. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. And if you notice zero improvements in your weight or even the cravings being shut off, just get your money back. Laura Vigil, yeah, it's $159 roughly. Now, the price on here, right, there is a 25% discount, so it'll bring that down. You get free shipping, okay? So I'm going to explain one breakfast mistake that keeps a lot of people stuck in that fat storage mode, okay? When someone wakes up and the first thing that we're doing is we're eating something that's high in sugar or carbs, first thing in the morning, okay? Your glucose and your insulin are going to spike immediately, okay? The word breakfast, break fast, okay? The truth is that whatever you eat first thing in the morning is technically the most important meal of the day, right? Because that first meal is what sets the tone for everything else. So if we are having a meal first thing in the morning that is full of sugar and full of carbs, okay, we are literally blowing up our blood sugar like a roller coaster. And now we are on this blood sugar roller coaster for the rest of the day. Because we will literally be in this vicious cycle all day long. Because when we have that first thing in the morning, that spike can keep insulin elevated for hours. And by the time insulin even has a chance to start coming down, this is when you're eating again. This is when it's lunchtime or snack time, right? And so for some people, delaying that first meal and allowing your body to stay in a fasted state longer can actually help insulin come down and allow the body to literally start getting rid of that excess weight or the stored energy that we don't need. And for those of you, so Pelon Dadan, so if you're purchasing it through the TikTok, okay, there is a 25% discount, so that'll bring it down lower. But if you want, okay, that 159, message me. I'm happy to send it to you. Okay. It's interesting that everybody kept asking, hey, when is this going to be on TikTok Shop? And now that it's on TikTok Shop, right? Yeah, TikTok has to get their portion. And this is one of the reasons why it's higher. So, folks, I'm here, by the way, this is exactly what you want to put in there to get the 25% discount, okay, in the checkout, okay? Folks, if someone improves insulin resistance, okay? So, Pelon, you'll be connected to me either way, okay? But send me a message. I'm happy. I will be connected. Everybody that buys utilizing mine, Okay. I will be your coach. I will help walk you through exactly how to use this. We'll make sure that you have all the tools that you need to make this work. Now, if someone improves insulin resistance, okay, many health issues are going to start improving. And Cynthia, thank you so much for the heart. Me appreciate that. Okay. Your energy is going to improve. Your metabolism is going to improve. If you're trying to lose weight, you're going to notice that your body's going to start naturally getting rid of some of that excess belly fat, especially the visceral fat. You're going to start noticing that your blood sugar stabilizes. Your cravings will begin disappearing, essentially, Michelle, right? We all have cravings. The food that we eat, right, makes us want more of the same type of food. And what I love about the Feel Great system and why I use it every single day is because when you improve insulin sensitivity, not only are you going to improve all these things, but I started following this simple metabolic protocol that focused on fasting and stabilizing blood sugar. And if you want the exact system that I use, folks, don't wait. It comes with a 90-day guarantee. Folks, if you try it and you notice nothing, just get your money back. You'll lose nothing. I wish I knew about this 20 years ago. Actually, longer than that, right? My brother would still be here. There's a chance that my dad potentially would still be here. And so I think about this, right? And this is exactly what this is, okay? Right? When you're looking at this, okay, the fiber going to help control the glucose levels, okay? It's not a regular fiber. You're going to take it right before your biggest meal of the day. And the amazing thing about the tea, right? It's a natural tea extract, right? It's patented, folks. You can't just get this anywhere. Folks, I wish that I knew about this 20 years ago, right? Here's the other thing, okay? There's a lot of doctors and medical professionals that are surprised when they hear that this product happens to be listed in the physician's desk reference, right? It's been studied by the Cleveland Clinic, the American Heart Association, the University of Utah, Minnesota, Columbia University, BYU in Provo, Utah. Okay? This is why I talk about this, folks. At the end of the day, I think that you have an opportunity to understand, number one, why our body reacts the way that it does. Okay? How many of you have heard of the University of Sydney? The University of Sydney is in Australia. They are literally the blood sugar experts of the world. Okay? Folks, I want you to know that I love talking about this because there's so many people. And I just got restricted. It's always great when I get restricted. I love that. Not exactly sure why I'm getting restricted. Especially when I have the TikTok shop, right? TikTok shop, it seems like every time I have the TikTok shop, which, I get restricted just for having it. It's so dumb. Okay. Folks, if you want the system that I use, I can show you how you can get it for the 159. Okay. Folks, I'm never going to stop using this. I will share it every single day. My hope and my prayer is that it makes a difference in somebody's life. And I'm confident there's somebody who's watching this right now who's going to change their health by using it. Folks, if you decide to order it and it doesn't work for you, just get your money back. There's no risk. This is why I talk about this every single day. Because when people start to improve their health, everything changes, folks. When you get your insulin under control, everything changes. And this is why I do this. This is why I talk about this. I really appreciate each and every one of you for getting on this live. If I can help you, I would love to help you. Okay. If this resonates with you, if it sounds like what you've been looking for and praying for, if you would like to get started, okay, folks, just order it. If you're in the United States, you can use your HSA and FSA to get this. And it comes with a 90-day guarantee. Let me ask you guys this question. Okay. Have you ever seen a medication that has no side effects and comes with a 90-day money back guarantee? They said I was misleading. Okay. I get restricted almost every day, unfortunately, especially when I have the TikTok shop, which is, it's the most ridiculous thing. It's like, why allow us to have the TikTok shop if you're going to restrict us when we're talking about what the product can do that's listed in the TikTok shop? We have all the clinical studies, all the research. It's backed by the PDR. It's backed by PubMed. It's backed by more than 50 institutions. What it comes down to, Linda, and anybody else that's listening, is that they don't like us teaching the truth, right? If I was lying to you, they'd probably push this out to content. I will never stop using this. I reversed stage 4 kidney disease. I got rid of weight, 32 pounds. My migraines of 23 years went away in the first week. Brain fog, acid reflux, anxiety, depression, sleep apnea, all of these things have improved. And even when I went back to my nephrologist after being on this for 5 months, my doctor says, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. So I'm going to keep doing it. And if what you've been doing up to this point is not working, folks, you've got nothing to lose by trying this. And if you're watching this and you're not ready yet, it's completely fine, right? Nobody's here to force you, okay? But if you are serious about moving that needle and improving and reversing insulin resistance, which can happen, okay? This is why it's important to understand why we have these health issues, connect the dots, and now we can find solutions, right? The reason why I'm passionate about this is my dad passed away too early. My brother was 33 when he passed away, okay? One point I was dealing with stage 4 kidney disease, and I've been able to improve all of that with this. And if that's something that you're open to trying, just, folks, don't wait to try it. Just try it. Oh, it's interesting that it's interesting. So I guess I had these in the TikTok shop, and but apparently it removed my ability to actually, add products. It's interesting. Nope, I can't. I got violated, so I can't even do the TikTok shop, which I probably won't ever do the TikTok shop anymore because it is so absolutely ridiculous. It's so stupid to get restricted, and a penalty of 8 point. It's such bullshit. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but I probably will not be able to. I'm not going to do the TikTok shop anymore. It's so stupid, right? That you get restricted for the dumbest thing. So, folks, if you want what it is that I'm using, just send me a message. I'm happy to send you the discount link. It's $5 a day, and try it for 90 days. If it doesn't work, just get your money back. Okay. Really